Hey y'all, welcome to Serpentine Creative. I'm your host, Stella Williams, and you're watching Serpentine Reads. So, first off, I would like to apologize for my appearance today. Um, it's laundry day. I had people coming in to fix a bathroom leak. I'm all over the place, but I'm here and I've got another review for you guys. Today I will be reviewing Torn by Brooklyn Knight, and it is a interracial alpha wolf shifter romance. Um, and at this book, I should tell you, really did leave me torn. Um, the the concept and the ideas that I love about paranormal romance were there. It had the alpha wolf shifter who, imprinted on his fated or destined mate, and he would do anything to, make her see and make her understand that she's his one and his only. And on top of that, there was some like government conspiracy, and that was always kind of a fun idea to play with, um, where the government was tracking down these wolf shifters to study them and do whatever they're gonna do. But with that being said, I just really could not get into this book. I did finish it. It is not a DNF. I did finish the book because I wanted to see if it got better. But it's not the, there was nothing, how can I say this? Okay, so what really bugged me about this is there was no real romance as far as my opinion on this. It was very much, the opening scene is the wolf shifter watching his fated mate be whisked away by some other man. And you're like, oh, okay, that's, kind of weird. Uh, but, there was no red flags at that point because it was like, maybe he didn't approach her or maybe he didn't explain things to her correctly, whatever, right? But then you get further into the book and you realize that one, he kidnapped her, like, first, without any other context, he just like freaking snatched her from her bed. And you're just like, whoa, what? Like, okay, there is that trope of, shifters doing, mate by capture or whatever, and that can be written really nicely. But I feel the author went a little too far with um, the female lead having, PTSD, and obviously struggling with this idea of having been kidnapped, having been kept against her will, and it just didn't really make sense that she would forgive him or even want to be around him, especially, when he shows back up and, he's like basically stalking her. So it was very much a bad romance kind of situation, and it gave me all kinds of icky feelings about it, and uh I just didn't. And then another thing that bothered me about it was that the main character, the main female lead, was supposedly from Chicago and had moved into Miami, but the way she reacts to situations isn't, at least to me, doesn't feel like 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 the typical reaction of somebody who would have come from Chicago or lived in a bigger city like Miami. Like her reaction is very like small town naive, you know, and it's it just the whole book just did not work for me. Again, I could say more, but I don't want to give spoilers. And I had high hopes for this book. That sounded great. The intro, I mean, that first like paragraph where, you know, he introed the male lead was, you know, standard. Oh, okay, you know, he's gonna go and get her back. But then it like went downhill fast because, you know, she's like, oh, he kidnapped me. He's a kidnapper. I need to run and hide, you know? But, you know, when he finally like catches her all of a sudden, she's like, okay, I guess. And I'm just like, maybe not. Maybe not. But that's neither here or there. Um, as far as my objective reviews, sorry, I didn't have the time to do my graphics today, so I'm just gonna tell you straight off what they are. But my objective reviews, the heat level, while there were one or two sex scenes that were, you know, a little graphic, I really could not. I could not. So that's not getting a heat level rating from me because I like it was very much like not okay with how the whole relationship was set up for me to like be able to find any arousal or whatever you would look for in a romantic sex scene. And then for the readability, I didn't see any um major errors or anything like that. So, other than it giving me the total ick factor, that aside, it was a peaceful read. And as far as my overall score, I did not DNF it, so it's not on the DNF, but it's definitely between DNF and worth the read, closer to the DNF because while the back plot, not the so-called romantic plot. Um, the the romantic plot I just could not get into, but they had some really great Brooklyn uh, had some really great ideas um, that as far as her world and the shifters and what that all looked like that I enjoyed enough to, you know, finish out the book. So that is my review of Torn by Brooklyn Knights. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And next week I'll be back to my regular scheduled programming with graphics and glitter and all of that stuff. Have a great day.